Khan, shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom. It's your boy Yeshaya, the Truth Warrior, or Isaiah, the Truth Warrior, coming at you, man. We got another lesson today, right? Let's see. Khan. So, shalom, Israel. Yeshaya, the Truth Warrior, the double-edged sword of Israel. Coming at you, we got another lesson today, man. Most High has been working with me in the spirit. You know, all praises to the Most High for that. He's been working with other brothers as well. And the Most High is pouring out his spirit right now upon Israel and upon, you know, the ones of Israel that's waking up right now. They may not be fully in the truth, but the Most High is working his wonders right now, man. And he's pulling the ones that he wants, the ones that he elected, you know, is putting the spirit on them to move within them, okay? So first off, let's give all the glory, praise, and honor to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That's giving all praises to Yahweh, the Most High, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay. Now, the topic of the day, as y'all see, are Israelites Gentiles? Right? I know that's like, whoa, you know, what are you talking about? Is Israelites Gentiles? Okay. But what we want to talk about is, are there instances in the Bible, right, in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, are Israelites sometimes referred to as strangers and Gentiles, right? Shalom to the boy, my boy Obadiah in the building. Shalom. Khan, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Because the thing is, you know, an issue with a lot of, I guess Christians, you know, or even some Israelites that's in the truth, all right? And they're still talking about the strangers being saved and Gentiles being saved and all this stuff. But they don't understand that in the Old Testament, it's prophesied that Israel will be called Gentiles, and it's prophesied that Israel will lose their identity, Salakia, and so on and so on, right? So the thing is, now if it's prophesied in the Old Testament that Israel will lose his identity and be called strangers and Gentiles, how do you know which stranger and Gentile in the New Testament is it referring to? Because I've seen Christians just straight out, flat out say, oh, Gentiles means non-Israelite. And that's completely false, man, right? So today we're going to get the full understanding of what's going on, because they don't know what's going on. And we're going to enlighten the ones that want to know and that want to seek diligently and look up the research and do the work. If you're still struggling on this subject, we're going to show you today, man, right? Through the power and the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. So let's see. Let's get it going, man. Let's start off with this. Why the heck not, right? We're going to start off with this right here, because this is something that really kills everybody. That has an idea that the Most High died for everybody. Or not the Most High. The Most High sent his son to die for everybody. And that's folly. All right. So obviously, let's check this out, man. John 3:16, right? It says, for God so loved the world. This is where everybody gets caught up at. That it says God so loved the world, right? That he gave his only begotten son. And then this is where they trip at too. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So that's why when they read in the New Testament that these Gentiles can now be saved and grafted in, and when they're reading this is what they have in their mind. Well, God did love the world and whosoever, so that must be talking about non-Israelites. That's folly. Okay, let's show you why. Let's show you why. Right? Salakia. Let's dispel that right now. All right. So here's the thing, man. Okay. Isaiah 45:17, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. So if Israel is a world in itself, right? Then how is it now all of a sudden the world being everybody inhabitants of the earth? Because Israel's a world. So now you're also in a position to where you have to decipher which world is this? Which Gentile is this? Which stranger is this? Y'all got to stop allowing this King English, right, to basically shape your doctrine for you without going and doing the research within the Bible. All right, let's check this out. This is 2 Esdras 6:54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. Right? All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. This is Ezra talking. He's an Israelite. That hour is the Israelites. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. That's spit, man. It has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Right? And then check this out, 57. And now, O Lord, behold these heathen. Who is the heathen? The other nations that are not chosen. We know Israel is the chosen. The other people are the not chosen, and they are these heathen. Right? So the heathen, those are the unchosen people. But if God loved the world, how come you got these people which are not the chosen people? God said they're like spittle and they're nothing. So it can't be both. It can't be like God only loved the Israelites and everybody else was like spittle, but then he loved everybody else. That's basically what you guys are saying, is he only loved Israel, but then it changed. And we know in Malachi 3:6, the Most High said, I'm the Lord, I don't change. Right? So now we're getting into some tricks, right? We're getting into some potholes, right? Some crawl spaces. Now your doctrine is kind of falling through the cracks because we've actually went and read the Old Testament. Oh no. Oh man. Yeah. When you read the Old Testament, the Most High could not possibly love the world. John 3:16 couldn't possibly be talking about the whole world, because there was never a time in the Old Testament where God loved the whole world. Con? I mean, let's get this, man. Because now you would have to be saying that God didn't love everybody and then it changed. You would have to be saying that, man. Right? That's the only explanation. Because there's no way, by reading the Bible and the precepts that I'm about to show you before we even get into the lesson, there's no way you could say God has always loved the whole world. That means you just don't read your Bible. Right? This is Joel chapter 2:27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. Who is his people? The Israelites. It says right here, he's in the midst of Israel, and he's the Lord their God and none else. He's nobody else's God. So Did that just change? By the time you get to John, the 3rd chapter, did it change? Absolutely not. We know the Most High does not change, right? So what does that tell you? Your understanding of John 3:16 and the world, and honestly, your understanding of who this book is written to is flawed, because you guys go off of, whosoever and ye men among you and all men. That's only talking to Israel, man. I'm sorry to tell. Actually, I'm not sorry to tell you. This is the truth. It's only talking about Israel. If I told everybody in my house, hey, all y'all could come downstairs and get a slice of pizza, how the hell is the nigga next door coming in my house now and getting a slice of pizza too? Talking about, well, it said all y'all. No, bro, everybody in the house. If I've already addressed who's in the house in the chapters before, if you would have read the chapters before John, you will understand that the person that I'm addressing this whole book to is Israel. So by the time I get to John and I say whosoever among you, if you didn't read the prior chapters, you're going to think, oh, this means the Asian man and the East Indian and everybody gets a shot at the pie. Absolutely not, man. That's folly and madness, okay? So let's kick it off, man. That was just a setup to show y'all you've been lied to, okay? Now let's get into it. Leviticus, right? Let's check this out in Leviticus. Chapter 25. It's going to get real today, man. It's going to get real. We're going to be bursting bubbles today, man. All right? And this is what we strive to do. We strive to burst bubbles where our people have been misled at, man. Where our people have been lied to, and now they have a false idea of what this Bible is talking about. One thing we don't want people to have is a false idea, right, of who God is and what this Bible represents. Because we know that this Bible is not only it's not a religious book, but if you want to say it's a religious book or a spiritual book, okay, that's true. But is it not also history and prophecy? And is it not also culture, laws, heritage for one nation of people, the Israelites? And that's you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So y'all need to understand what this Bible actually is talking about, because it's yours. This isn't for everybody else, man. Absolutely not. All right, Leviticus chapter 25, verse 35. Check this out. Okay, Leviticus 25:35. And if thy brother, key word, thy brother, be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. So why is it calling your brother a stranger? Right? It says, though he be a stranger, and this is thy brother. What are we saying here? There was times where if you had sojourning Israelites, right, or foreign Israelites that didn't live among the land, they were being considered strangers by the people of Israel. But these people are still Israelites. That's still your brother. That's still your neighbor. But he's an Israelite. But he's still living in other cities, right? That's not, necessarily of where we were sojourning at the time. So they would be considered strangers, right? You had brothers and sisters that would come from other lands that they lived in, but they were Israelites, and they was coming to keep the Passover, right? So just because he's being called a stranger, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a non-Israelite. Let's go to Psalm 69 in verse 8. Now this is David talking. Look, it says, I am become a stranger unto my brethren, and an alien unto my mother's children, man. So what, is now David not an Israelite? Is David a Gentile? right? Come on, man. Okay. He said, though I become a stranger. Now, there's times where, we as Israel, we were being called strangers. We were being called Gentiles. So y'all got to understand, just because it says Gentile or stranger, that don't necessarily mean that's a non-Israelite. You got to look at the context, just like in everything. But here's the thing. The Christians say that we take things out of context. But y'all taking all of John 3:16 out of context. Let's get another one of my favorites. This is low-key one of my favorite chapters. Romans chapter 9. And if y'all saw I did the breakdown on Romans chapter 9, y'all probably know where I'm already going. But sometimes you got to reiterate stuff to Israel because, you didn't learn that rap song on the first time you heard it. You didn't learn Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang the first time you heard it, all the lyrics, but you know it now because you done played it out, right? You didn't know all of Little Uzi Vert's looking like Vision from Marvel. You had to learn that song. You had to play that homosexual song for you to know it now. And now you can sing that homosexual song word for word, which is folly. Anyway, so look, Romans chapter 9, right? Let's go to 24. Here we go. Even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Woo-wee. Party's over, right? Or actually, party's just getting started. The Gentiles can come in too. Look, verse 25. As he saith also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not my beloved. Let's go to Hosea. What is this talking about? Because people think that's talking about, I'm going to call the people that I've never messed with my people now. Absolutely not. This is a prophecy that the Israelites would be called other people than Israelites. This is prophecy, man. If you're not dealing with the prophecy, right, and the aforementioned scriptures, how are you going to know what it's talking about later on? You got to be bugged out, man. It's lucky I'm trying to get comfortable, y'all. But you got to be bugged out if you think you could just pick up the New Testament and know what it's talking about. You're crazy, man. Right? So this is Hosea 1:9. Then said God, call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Right? Verse 10, yet the number of the children of Israel, so who is this talking about? The children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, Israel, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Right? So there you have it, man. This is talking about Israelites. This is a prophecy saying that Israelites would lose the fact that God was calling them Israelites, and they will be called other things and other names. But even in that place where you're being called all kind of things, I'm going to raise y'all on y'all feet, and y'all going to understand that you're Israelites. Right? But it's still a prophecy that had to come to pass. That's what Romans 9 is telling you. So now I got your noodle cooking, right? Because this mentions Gentiles. In the Old Testament, it's called strangers, right? So even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. One thing also y'all Christians got to understand when y'all arguing with these Israelites that's busting y'all over the head, right? Clubhouse is kicking y'all. But listen, man, y'all got to understand when y'all arguing with the likes of brothers who study like us, you can't come up there and say Jews mean all Israel. Because I'll be seeing y'all do that, not only of the Jews, but also of the Gentiles. Oh, see, he went to the Jews. The Jews didn't receive him. Okay, well, what about the rest of the Israelites? Because Jews only represent the southern kingdom of Israel or just the tribe of Judah. Y'all got to get it together out here, man. Let's go to, let's hop in that book of the Maccabees. Because this is where it really all kicks off, man. This is how. See, it's prophesied that the Israelites would become Gentiles in the Old Testament. This is how it started happening on a wide scale, right? 2 Maccabees chapter 6, let's start at verse 5. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Now, first of all, y'all got to understand, man. In the time of the Maccabees, right, you have very prominent brothers, right, of the southern kingdom that was trying to hang on to the altar, trying to hang on to the text, trying to hang on to the law, right, trying to hang on that last little bit of Israel, because the northern kingdom at this point is pretty much, they're in the Americas, and the remnant that stayed there, they're all off into idolatry, right? And you got brothers of the southern kingdom that's off into idolatry at this point too. So, and this is at this time the Maccabees are battling with the Greeks, because the Greeks are the ones at this time that was exacting their rulership pretty much around the whole. Well, pretty much in the Africa, the so-called Middle East or the Fertile Crescent, and the Europe and Asia, right? Because the Americas they call the fourth part of the earth. So before, everybody was kind of coming over to America and whatnot, Greece at this time is just conquering everything that's on that side of the globe. Europe, Africa, and Asia, okay? So this is verse 5. The altar was also filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Now, if the Greeks are ruling and they're, it's unlawful, right, to be called a Jew, and you're being ruled by the Greeks, you're going to be called a Greek, okay? You're going to be called a Lacedaemonian. You're going to be called a Colossian, right? You're going to be called a Thessalonican. These are all Greek. These are all provinces that got taken over by the Greeks. Okay. Now let's go to Jeremiah, because it's becoming clear, man. You can't call yourself a Jew. You can't call yourself an Israelite. What are you going to call yourself? What they're making you call yourself. Just like here in America. If you here in America, you're being called an American. Yeah, we say we Israelites, which we are Israelites. But what does it say on our ID? What does it say on our birth certificate? American citizen. Right? These are the same people here, the Edomites. So Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee, so discontinue from your heritage. Right? The Most High said this was going to happen. He said it was going to happen in Hosea. He's saying it's going to happen in Jeremiah. Right? It happened in the Maccabees. Now you get to the New Testament, you see there's no Jew nor Greek. Why just Greeks? You're starting to understand now. Right? All of a sudden, you start seeing things that seem like it's contradicting the Old Testament. That's why these Christians don't believe in the Old Testament, because the New Testament is all inclusive. Right? The New Testament is everybody can join to the covenant. People are getting grafted in now, right? And basically, you would have to be saying that all the prophecies about the Gentiles are null and void now. All the prophecies about Israel are null and void now. Basically, the Old Testament is null and void. You see why they don't use the Old Testament? But see, we use the whole Bible. We use all the 80 books of the canon, right? And the reason why we do is because it's all inspired. But if you don't have the understanding, you're going to think, hey, some stuff is contradictory. The Old Testament says one thing, the New Testament says new thing. Nah, brother. You got to understand that the Israelites would lose their identity, be forced to call themselves Greeks, right? Forced to call themselves Ethiopians. Now you got Israelites that don't know they're Israelites, and they're calling themselves Elamites, and they're calling themselves, Americans and Mexicans and Africans. And you see what's going on here? So Jeremiah 17:4, you're going to lose your identity, discontinue from your heritage that the Most High gave thee. And the Most High will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. That's what we're doing right now in America. That's what we did in the time of Antiochus Epiphanes in the Greeks. That's what we did in the time of the Romans. We were serving our enemies. But more importantly, this is where we're doing it here in America and scattered abroad, because we don't know who we are and we're serving our enemies in the land that we never knew, right? I mean, it's plain as day. It's plain as day, man. Y'all just got to understand what this Bible is talking about. Let's go to the book of Acts. Let's go to the book of Acts chapter 22. Now, here's the thing, man. I'm going to do a whole separate lesson on, all the letters that Paul was writing to these Greek provinces. Those are all Israelites that he was writing to. That's a whole separate lesson. Right now, I'm just showing y'all that this is a prophecy that Israel will lose its identity. It's a prophecy that the Israelites will become Gentiles and strangers, right? For their idolatry. That's the thing. Y'all got to understand that biblical history, there was times where if you wasn't keeping the law, we looked at you like a heathen, right? If you wanted to live in a whole nother country, we looked at you like those people you was living with. We looked at you like a Greek, right? That's the understanding of it's unlawful to come to that of another nation. But we know that's talking about of another tribe of Israel. Con? So y'all got to understand biblical history. Y'all can't just come out here and read Paul's letters and think you done understood something now. So this is Acts 22:25. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, it is Salaki, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman? Now, hold on, let's read all verse 26. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. 27. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? Paul said, yeah. Now, is Paul lying? Right? Is Paul lying? Is he not telling the truth right now? I mean, We know that Paul said that he's an Israelite. Let's go to that. Right? Romans 11. I mean, Paul just said he was a Roman. So is he now a white guy? Romans 11:1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So is Paul lying? Is he kicking game? What's going on right now? He said he was a Roman, but he said he was an Israelite. See, Rome is not a nationality. He was a citizen of Rome, but he's an Israelite. So if Paul said he was a Roman, is he a Gentile? Right? Is Paul a Gentile? Can you be a Roman and be an Israelite? Can you be a Greek and be an Israelite? Can you be an Ethiopian eunuch and be an Israelite? You gotta start asking yourself, man. Just because you're being called the place where you live does not mean that's the nation of people you come from. Yes, Paul was a Roman, but Paul's an Israelite. Right? I mean, hey, I want to save that one though. Come on. Anyway, so these Israelites that have lost their identity and being called all these different things, that used to happen. That happened in the so-called Old Testament, right? Happened with David, right? It happened in Leviticus where it said if your brother be waxing poor, though he be a stranger. This is not a New Testament concept of Israelites being called Gentiles and being called strangers. Okay, let's see. Let's throw this in here. This is a little bonus for y'all. Revelation. Revelation chapter 7. I'm in the Blue Letter Bible. Right? Now, unfortunately, a lot of bugged out Christians, bugged out Baptists, right? Bugged out even Israelites that want to include everybody. They don't have the understanding. They don't know how to go into the original text of what it was written in, the languages it was written in, and understand what it's talking about. Now, first of all, Revelation chapter 7, this is talking about the 144,000, right? Now, it says, and after this I beheld and lo, a great multitude. So after the 144,000, which are all Israelites, by the way, then it says another number which cannot be measured nor numbered of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So now, your bugged out Christians, they'll say, oh, this is talking about non-Israelites. Because they say, because it says of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues. Well, first of all, okay, let's real quick, because we're going to come right back. But let's just go to James real quick. Right? The brother of Christ, a powerful brother, Hashem Mashiach Yahavashai. Okay. James, a servant of God. This is James chapter 1, verse 1. This is how he kicks everything off of his own book. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahavashai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. greeting. So if all the tribes are scattered abroad, wouldn't they be speaking other languages? I mean, they would be speaking all kind of different languages, right? So there goes your different tongues right there. I mean, we in America, we speak in English. That's not Hebrew. You got Israelites in Greek, in provinces of Greece, and they're speaking Koine Greek. You got Israelites out here in the South America speaking damn Portugal and Spanish. You got Israelites in Germany speaking German. Those are, I just named like 5 different tongues right there, man. But let's go into it. It's a lot. Let's go into it. So let's see what this Greek word for kindreds. It's the Greek word. Let's see what it is.
Strong's G 5443. Foulet.
I don't know who that dude is that be doing these recording the Strongs, but that dude sounds funny. But anyway, Foulet, right? Now, let's see what Foulet means. A tribe. In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. Let's just leave that there real quick for a little bit. Hey, man, those kindreds and nations are Israelites. You can't get around it, man. These are Israelites. Revelation chapter 7 is talking about Israelites. From the 144,000 to the great multitude after that is Israelites. Verse 10, and cry with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. Didn't we go into Joel chapter 2 and show that God is the God of the Israelites? Let's get in the New Testament. Because I know these damn pig knuckle pastors, these damn pork chop eating pastors, they'll say if it's not in the New Testament, it don't count. If it's not in the New Testament, it's not scripture. Well, let's get Joel 2:27 in the New Testament. Luke 1:68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. Not the God of the world, not the God of earth, the Lord God of Israel. For he hath visited and redeemed his people. Raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. That video's coming next. About Christ. It's impossible Christ was born of immaculate conception. You know why? Because it's prophesied that he will be born from the seed of David. That's the thing. Hey, newsflash to y'all Christians, man. If it doesn't line up with the prophecy, then you would be saying that the prophecy about the thing you're talking about, whatever you're talking about, if there's a prophecy for it, that prophecy has to come to pass. If you're saying otherwise, you're saying that the prophecy, that the Most High sent his word out and it came back void. And that's a very dangerous game to play with the Most High and his word. Okay? Do not play with the Most High and his word, man. Let these prophecies come to pass and take it as what it says. Now, if it seems like it's contradictory, that's your understanding that's contradictory. But the Bible does not contradict itself. Okay? Come on, man. So, with that said, man, it's prophesied that this will happen to Israel. It's prophesied that we will lose our identity. It's prophesied that we will be called Gentiles. It's prophesied that that the Israelites that was still keeping the faith, okay, that was still keeping the law, that they would call the Israelites that was not keeping the law and that was into idolatry and being like the other nations, that even we would call them Gentiles. Okay? So when y'all talking to these Christians, and for you Christians, man, let me unshare my screen. Share my screen real quick. For you Christians, look, man, y'all gotta do your research. Go into the book. Go into the translations, man. Go into what the text said before it was translated to English. Okay? Because y'all out here getting your head bust by powerful brothers, you know, my colleagues that I look up to. They out here destroying y'all by simply going into the Old Testament, man. Going into what the Hebrew said. Going into what the Greek says in the New Testament and matching it up. If it doesn't match up, you can't just let it ride. Hey, look, man, let's go to this real quick. Let's go to this real quick because truth be told, y'all Christians don't believe in God. Y'all don't. Y'all have made up a God in your head to please and to fit what you think the Bible's talking about. That's scary, man. I couldn't do that. Now, Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I change not. The Most High does not change. And the reason why he doesn't, look at this. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. The Most High does not change, man. Because if he did, then the Gentiles would be brought in. But it said, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Right? God. Kwame Isrealites. So, with that, man, we're going to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. I'm going to say the water Yahweh, the water Yahweh Shai. Hey, the Most High, you know, all praises to the Most High that he's showing me and revealing to me, honestly, some of the milkier doctrines of the Bible. This is simple stuff, man, that I'm going to be bringing y'all. Simple stuff, man. Right? We can get to the meat later, but brothers is still stuck on the simple stuff. Talking about all the Gentiles can be grafted in now, and Christ was born of an immaculate conception, and all this folly and craziness, man. All right? So this is the milk that we come in. I'm going to expound on the milk and stretch the milk out, right, in plain terms, so it makes a whole lot more sense. That way there's no room to go for any kind of confusion, man, because we know the Most High is not the author of confusion. Con? So with that, man, we're going to say shalom, right? Strength and honor, double-edged sword, right? Brother Yeshaya, the truth warrior, Kwame Asharala, shalom, y'all.